Hello and welcome to the Tyrants In Training podcast. I am the host, Kevin Ryan. This little podcast invites guests on to rule over their own country as a tyrant, whether it's benevolent or malevolent, in any way that you like. Today's guest is screenwriter Terri Viani. Viani is the correct way to
It's
pronounce it,
Viani.
right?
Yep, perfect.
Viani, I've got it perfect. Okay. Yes, Terri, hello.
Hello. Glad to be here.
I was just wondering, because you have traveled quite a bit. You've been to a few countries, right?
Yes.
Do you think that'll help you welcome everyone to your new country?
Yes.
You're quite worldly, I'm going to pretend to say. And do you think as a writer, I mean, obviously you have to do a lot of world building. Do you think you're going to be good at making this country up?
Yes, I think I will be.
Actually, one thing I have asked a few people, do you think you will be someone who is approachable by your citizens, or are you going to close yourself off? They don't get to get near you.
Oh, that's an interesting question, because I like to think of myself as open, but I'm so I like my space and my time. Yeah. So I think say from 9, I'll have office hours from 9 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon for people can drop by and
right.
And then after that, I need to be alone. So,
yeah. So when you say people to drop by, I mean, they're just higher ups, right? They're not regular Joes.
No, I think you could have those you see in the things where the kings would let people, or
okay.
I think the Scottish lords or whatever used to do that, the heads of the clan, and people could come and petition for a grievance or they need something. I like that. I like the idea of being benevolent like that, and at least giving the facade that I'm listening,
you know that I'm all into Roman history, and the recent podcast I was listening to, they said that the early emperors, like even Nero and stuff like that, they styled themselves as being the first among equals. So they pretend like they were the emperor, but they pretended to be, no, I'm just one of you. I'm just the first one of you. Whereas then it got to Diocletian, and he started the I am chosen by God. You can't just walk into my court and meet me. You have to get through all these, corridors and hallways to get into my inner sanctum. So that's why I was like, I wonder which I haven't figured out which I'd be.
No, I wouldn't be the latter.
No,
I would be being at the grocery store with everybody if I could be.
Oh, okay. So you try, but maybe with a Secret Service, something like that.
Yes, definitely with security.
Might need. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll get into the first of a bunch of questions, because we need to figure out some little of the basic. So do you have any idea where you would put your new country?
I would put it off the coast of Alaska. Can I do that?
Oh, of course, yeah, wherever. So I mean, the coast of Alaska. So are you putting it north or south, or?
I'm probably putting it where I'm not encroaching into anyone else's territory if there's a spot. But yeah, I'm putting it more north, because I want a snowy winter wonderland. So.
Oh, nice, because I don't think anyone really ever goes for that. So you're north of Alaska.
Yeah.
Cool. That is the furthest north anyone has gone. That's the first little tidbit for you. Yeah. No, usually people I think pick Atlantic or Pacific Ocean. Nice, warm weather. So you're going to put it above Alaska. So it's going to be very cold and stuff like that. Usually, again, we're going to say there's 10 million people are going to be on your island. So the island is big enough for 10 million people. No problem. There's no overcrowding. Do you have any idea what title you're going to give yourself? You can call yourself anything.
I call myself anything. How about just captain? Can I just do captain?
Oh, yeah. You can call yourself whatever. Okay. I mean, you can call yourself Bookworm, and that's your official title. Anything but captain. So are people going to say Captain Terri or Captain Viani, or is it just the captain? Or
they can just call me captain when they see me, but Captain Viani, that would be the title.
Captain Viani, lovely. Is cap allowed, or are we punishing people who?
Oh no, cap is fine. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So cap. Something I haven't asked people before, but when people ask how you found the island, are we just saying you found it, or are we making any sort of mythological story out of this?
No, I think that it's so cold that nobody ever claimed it. And so I made my move. I filed the paperwork, and nobody believed that I was actually doing this. So now here I am, and the cold island is mine.
So we're just saying you were, what's the word? Well, I mean, besides being really smart, you were What's the word? You were just quicker than everyone else. You decided, wait a minute, there's a there's a bit of an opportunity here. Yeah, nice. I think that'll get everyone kind of thinking, Captain's got some brains about her. Yeah. Do you know what the country's going to be called?
Oh, I feel like this is far too simplistic, but I would love to just call it winter.
I mean, there's no copyright on that. So winter, yeah. Winter, that is quite cool.
Where are you from, winter?
Are we actually, this might actually matter here. Captain of Winter sounds pretty cool, right? Are you going to have any official robes or attire?
Maybe some ceremonial stuff, but it's so cold that, mostly I just want to be warm. So, a
lot of fur.
Maybe a ceremonial parka, it's like a big puffy coat, ceremonial puffy coat.
Is there any specific animals we need to slaughter for the fur? Our interior minister wants to know.
No, I think that it's expensive, but we should get that from the mainland, like synthetics and whatnot. We can do it that way.
Oh, not actual.
Yeah, I don't want to kill any animals.
You sure we can get in polar bears cheap because they're actually close by?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't want to kill any polar bears.
Okay, fake fur and parkas is
Puffy
in.
coat, yes.
Puffy coat. Cool. Okay, so when you have your island set up, where do you want to live? Where are we putting your residence?
Oh, what do you mean where? Like,
well, I suppose what type of house do you want? Okay. And you can have it in the town, you can have it in the wilderness. Where do you want us to?
Oh, interesting. Okay, I think what I want to be living in is a really cool official log cabin, like the White House, only a log cabin.
Is it the size of the White House? Are we going 2-story?
You've got to have plenty of space for visiting dignitaries and all this stuff. Yeah, so it's a good size. I mean, I don't need to be flash, but I can enjoy my space a little bit. So yeah.
With the log cabin, so do you want it around a forest or in a forest, or do you want it in the city?
Yeah, like some evergreens, lining the driveway up to it.
So we can put it just outside the Capitol if that's
yes.
I mean, keep it. Are you going to go into the Capitol, into an office for work and then go home? Or are you going to have every
no, everything's going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not moving.
Yeah, I'm not moving if I don't have to. So
do you prefer, because I noticed there, do you prefer fireplaces or stoves? Because it's cold. I just need to.
Stoves.
Yeah, I'm stoves as well. Celine is way into fireplaces, and I'm explaining to her, no, we're getting a stove when we buy our house. But yes, stoves.
Yeah.
I'll get on stoves. I'll put many in. Okay, so we have your country set up. Winter, we have your houses being built. That's fine. When we're going to let people in, we're going to let 10 million people in. I just need to get onto the border guards and let them know, is there any people we're not letting in? Or is there any rules for people who are coming in that were like, you can't be left-handed? Or are we just letting everyone in?
No. The one thing I want people to have to do is take a test that sort of not rates, but checks out their critical thinking skills, not their education, not their money, but like, are you able to think critically about this issue or that issue or things going on around you? Or are you just reactionary?
Do you want us to do a live version of that hypothetical situation with the train tracks? We can put loved ones down, and then we can put a stranger on the other side, and then you have a lever for people that they have to press if they're, with the train coming, and it can either hit the loved ones or the stranger. Do you want us to do that, or? Seems
a bit bloodthirsty. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just throwing out options, to be honest.
No, I think we can. That's not necessary. We don't need to get people to, potentially murder their loved ones to come in to.
They'll do it. Winter is popular, so we can. They will do it in this world. They will do it.
But I don't know that I want those people in my winter wonderland.
So we need a critical thinking test.
Critical thinking skills, yes.
But currently, yes.
I would like it if people had concrete skills as well. You don't need to be able to build a house from scratch, but you have to be able to do the basics, because this is winter. There's a lot of isolation in the coldest months, and if you can't make the basic fending for yourself, then you're probably not going to survive here. And that's putting all kinds of pressure on services, and the other citizens are annoyed because you couldn't cut enough wood to get through the winter.
Even though I fully support all your decisions as captain,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of fear, even though I'm also a disembodied voice in this scenario, I'm not a real person, but if I was, I'm a bit worried, because then I would be showing up as an amateur writer who, as far as critical thinking skills, honestly, was making porridge 2 or 3 days ago and spent about 10 minutes at the stove stirring it before realizing that the stove wasn't on. So, okay. And that isn't a lie. That's very true. So I'm a bit worried that I wouldn't make it onto the island.
No, because that, like, I mean, the other day I spent 60 seconds trying to unwrap a cheese stick. You know, I couldn't get it open.
Okay, so captain isn't allowed.
Captain has trouble with cheese sticks.
Right.
No, I think that's just being human. For the critical thinking skills, I mean, for that, more for like, do you have the ability to think through a complicated set of circumstances without just reacting?
Right.
Are you able to see the big picture? Now, in terms of skills, not everybody's going to be an outdoors person, woodsman. I don't mean that, but are you able to light a wood stove? Are you able to, source food? Can you fish? This kind of thing. Now, we have grocery stores. We have all that. But again, there might be times where you can't get to the store because of snow, and you have to have the basics for being able, like, could you pass the Boy Scout or Girl Scout wilderness test is what I want to know.
Right. What if you haven't done that? Are we using that as the skills test? The Boy Scout, Girl Scout?
Let's use an elevated version of that. Maybe a few more tough things, but yes. Scouts test.
Elevated Scouts test, I'll put down, just to let the border guards know. And if you fail that, they're shipped back to wherever they came from. Scouts test.
And you can reapply.
Straight away?
Well, go back and get you some skills, and then come back, and so.
Okay. By the way, actually, when we set up this country and 10 million people are coming in, they're all very qualified and critical thinking is off the charts. Are we allowing people to vote? The choice I usually give tyrants when they're setting up their politics in the country: do you want just you select an inner circle of people that you delegate all the duties to of everyday governance, or do you want to let people in your country elect 100 senators into a Senate, and they'll deal with all the everyday stuff that's boring?
I feel like I would want to pick my people, because I'm a Libra. I'm a middle child. So I'm very balanced in dealing with other people's opinions and points of view, and trying to make sure that everybody gets a piece of the pie. So as we're setting up the country, what I want to do it, but I will also leave a little bit of room to say that if I fail miserably, there's a way to put the voting in place if I fail miserably.
So you're going to be in charge. So you're letting people in who have good critical thinking skills, but they're not allowed to vote. You will decide the fate of the country. However, if you and your inner circle are doing a horrible job, which I don't know how we quantify that, because you're the captain at the end of the day. You decide how the country's going. But if it's going bad, you will allow people to then vote you out.
Okay, so let me put it like this. Okay, so people are coming in, and they, with their critical thinking skills, they recognize that I might be a pretty good tyrant, and I won't be throwing my weight around too badly. Yeah. So they're free to just enjoy their lives, work, have families, go to a picnic on the weekend. Now, my inner sanctum, I will empower. If I go sideways or I'm not getting it done, they will have the power to institute countrywide voting and elections.
Oh, okay. And I'm just going to throw out a random number that there's like a dozen. There's 12 people in your inner sanctum. It's a small, close group. You know them all by first name. If one or two of them start thinking, you're kind of rubbish, are we just getting rid of them? Are we just...
No, not getting rid of them, because I want all those. This is what makes me a good tyrant, and I don't need voting, because I want to hear those opinions.
Okay.
So
So you're happy, yeah, you're not just immediately culling anyone in the inner circle that goes
No,
against
not
you.
for that.
Okay. Not for that. What are we culling for? Sorry.
If people are whiners, like I want
Whiners. Whiners are to be beheaded, or how do you want them?
No, they just get they get booted.
Literally?
No, no, booted. They get kicked off, and
the island,
and they're not allowed to. Let me see. There's got to be something for whiners, and I don't mean whining like. I mean,
it's
like
cold out.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, like if nothing is ever right, like they're just like no malcontents. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're trying to run this country. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, snowy land. If all you're just constantly malcontent about everything I'm doing and everything we're talking about, then go live in a remote cabin. Here's the punishment. You go live in a small but safe remote cabin for 6 months to a year, and you learn what it means to be alone, really alone, because that's what's going to happen to you in your life if you don't stop being a whining malcontent.
If you're a whining malcontent, which spells really like bad news for Mel Tent and her husband Con, you are going to send the two of them off to a very remote, safe but remote cabin.
Yes.
In the middle of nowhere, and keep them there for 6 months, whether they want to stay there or not. They have to live there.
They're in timeout.
So Winter has well-furnished gulags.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well-furnished gulags. I mean, I presume it's okay to call them that. That there's no.
I think it's probably better to call it let's call it thinking spots, so you can think about what you've done.
Right.
And come back a new and improved individual. There'll be books. There'll be food.
Might need to check on the UN's Council of Human Rights. We'll get a report back later. So you have everything set up, right? Everything is done brilliant. When we have a documentary crew coming into Winter to film this new country, when they come out of the airport, they're going to see a big welcome billboard sign. Welcome to Winter or something like that. What image do you want on the billboard, or what slogan do you want on the billboard?
Slogan. Oh my goodness. How about cold weather, warm hearts?
Ooh, cold weather, warm hearts. Very good. I like it. I was trying to think of a pun, and all I could think of was there's cold in them hills, but it doesn't really work. And then are we do you have any idea for an image you want to put behind it?
Maybe just like some snowflakes. That's kind of pretty. Just like an arch, like a rainbow shape, but of like snowflakes.
Yes.
Cold weather, warm hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. I mean, really going in with the winter cold weather theme. Yeah. But at least you're not surprising them then. So what unusual list is Winter, the country, atop of in the world?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. We have the most people who end up leaving any country.
Wait, what? So we have the highest rate of
people
emigration
who come in but then decide to leave.
Okay, so it could have been a nice list, like
but the whole place is sounding too nice. Like it's sounding like a Hallmark episode,
So, highest emigration is when you leave the country, right? Immigration is coming in, and then it's I think that's the biggest own goal of an answer to that question so far in this series. Everyone else is like the most pudding, and then yours is like the highest turnover of citizens. But yeah,
I'm thinking big.
We're okay with it, right?
Okay.
I think I'll say this, but I don't know the exact details, so I could be a bit wrong. But I remember years ago in Ireland, when the country was bankrupt and IMF were coming in, and everyone was just very depressed about the state of the country. There was a lot of young people leaving Ireland to move to Canada, England, Australia. They were kind of the main places, right? And everyone leaving and all that. And Ireland's quite expensive in general. But I remember at one point it was in the news that the government were announcing I forget what how they justified it, but it was basically a new tax for people leaving. So if you were emigrating and you were saying, "Oh, I'm sick of Ireland, I'm going to go to Australia and make a new life for myself," as you were at the airport, they went, "Oh, are you leaving, Terry? All right, okay, you're not coming back. No, one way ticket. All right, that'll be €25, by the way," as they're on the way out.
Oh, wow.
God damn it! No wonder I'm not coming back here. So do you want us to do that? Do you want us to try and get some money out of them?
Yeah. If someone's coming in and we're making sure that they're set up and not, starving in the street and they can't hack it and they leave, then they got to pay that money back.
Right. So, they're paying all the money back, a couple of thousand to leave.
Yeah. Whatever we spent. Well, maybe let's do, they have to pay back 50% of the money
50%
that we spent on them as citizens.
Jesus.
If they leave before 5 years.
Oh, okay. If they leave within 10 years, do we shrink it by like 25%?
Yeah, we'll shrink it. Yeah, because they gave it a go. And I just don't want people coming in thinking, "Oh, it's lovely, it's remote, it's quiet."
Yeah.
And then within a year, they're like, "Oh, I miss the sunshine," and then they run out the door. Although we have sun, it's just cold and snowy.
Yeah. But you have good electricity or good power source. I mean, you can go indoors.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it gets dark early and all that up in that part of the world. So
I mean, I know you're north of Alaska, but I kind of want to suggest that you maybe live in Scandinavia for a few years, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that they're okay if you move back to the US. They're fine. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to generate revenue if you're if winter is the country with the highest rate of emigration. It's gonna bring in money. I have some bad news. Your inner circle's coming along to you with bad news. I say this every episode because I just don't know how to phrase this question, so it's a bit of a mess. There's a scandal about to come out involving you, but you get to pick what the scandal is. So what scandal do you want your citizens to find out about involving you? And at this point, I usually add in the disclaimer that this is a light entertainment podcast. So
yeah. Oh gosh. Scandal.
And by the way, your inner circle are right there if you want to ask them what scandal should be released about you.
What do you mean they're right there? I can ask
if you can't think of a scandal, then
I can think of many scandals I could be involved with. So I think one scandal would be that with all the whole critical thinking skills, it's not because I think I'm smarter than everybody else, it's because I know that I'm not. And so I want people around me who are smarter than I am. So a scandal could be that I didn't do very well in school, that I struggled.
Right.
Also, I think I'm probably taking kickbacks from all the chocolate manufacturers in winter.
For them to not wait. I'm just trying to figure out so they're bribing you for what benefit for them?
Oh, I keep their taxes lower than everybody.
Okay. Is it good chocolate?
It's really good chocolate. I got a whole room of it. You want to come have some?
I mean, that's hey, if I mean, people are happy with it, right? It's good. Yeah. Good. I mean, chocolate and snow and Christmas, it's quite nice, right?
Yes.
You want to throw out the Chocolate-Gate as your scandal. You did mention there that this was going to be one of your scandals, so I'm also going to include the school not doing well one.
Yeah. Okay.
That was named in the paper as Thick-Eejit-Gate. So you're probably going to have to answer for two of them. Your inner circle have advised you maybe you should go on to the highest rated news program in your country. I guess, like, what's your man's name? Anderson on CNN. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what they think you should sit down across from him, and he's going to ask you questions, that sort of thing. So what lame, easily see-through political BS excuse do you give to fend off criticism of the scandals?
Oh yeah, I lean into that whole, I was not weak, but I was scared. I didn't want people for the school thing or the chocolate thing.
Oh, you can, whichever. I suppose he'll be sitting down saying, Okay, the bigger issue people have is the Thick-Eejit-Gate. So do you want to address that first?
Yes. It was
Do you understand what address means in this context, or do you need me to explain that?
I know address. Like,
okay, very good.
Oh, yeah,
very good.
okay. No,
Thank
no,
you, Captain.
Anderson, I
Yes.
was scared. I didn't want people to know how much I'd struggled and how terrified I was of those childhood days of being made fun of in school coming back.
Yes.
And I made a bad decision, and I regret it. But I stand for every child out there who was teased and bullied in school.
I think it'd be fair to say, and I'm acting as Anderson here in this
Yep.
scenario, but I think it's fair to say that, a lot of people around the world would sympathize with you. Bullying and teasing in school, unfortunately, happens since the Stone Age. However, in winter, as you well know, we have a country full of very smart people. And,
Yes.
It has become common practice that any kid who is bullied and teased for being a bit stupid in school is immediately deported, because we can't have that, or they're encouraged to leave with the rest of the thousands of people. So do you think it's a bit hypocritical then that if you experienced that when you were younger, and now the country that you rule promotes teasing stupid people in school?
No. No.
Which I'm just going to throw in here, Tyrants In Training podcast does not promote the teasing of kids in school.
No, because it's not as if, see, this is what the media does, Anderson. They take half the story and put it out there. What happens with those families are asked to leave. They're not charged the money because they're not leaving of their own free will. Their kids are put in communities with a high level of critical thinking achievers.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna cut across here. So you're suggesting that your administration forcibly removes the parents, doesn't charge them, but takes their kids and puts them into new homes while their parents are booted out of the country?
Oh, no. The whole family goes. The whole family goes. Think of it as an extended vacation. The family goes, and now I thought that was one of my cats. I just almost looked down in my lap.
Yeah.
And the whole family goes. It's like a vacation.
Right.
And the kids get some remedial help, and they learn how to stand up to bullies, all that kind of thing.
Yes.
And then they come back in.
And are these vacation spots, are they similar or close to your infamous and controversial thinking spots?
No, they're in just regular old communities.
Unlike the thinking spots, which are, of course, covert gulags.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes. And just the chocolate one, I mean, honestly, people seem to be more okay with that because the chocolate is famously delicious, that you've openly stated. But are you going to reverse your actions there? Are you going to start taxing them, or are you going to take money still?
Yes. And I have also reached out to the local addiction communities and asked for help with my chocolate addiction.
Oh, okay. So you don't fear that they'll become addicted to chocolate?
Oh, no.
I thought you were.
I did this because I'm addicted to chocolate.
Right.
I needed to have that supply, but I've reached out for help, and I've instructed my people to put the taxes where they need to be.
So,
and I beg the forgiveness of the people of winter.
So we we're kind of checking social media for the response to this. Honestly, the chocolate one, they were pretty okay with. I mean, hey, you admitted that you had a fault with it, you're getting help, and you'll set that right. They were a bit concerned that you seemed to be adamant that those stupid kids needed to be taught a lesson.
No.
But
this is the media twisting my words.
Yes.
I didn't say the stupid kids need to. I said that. This is so funny. I said that we were offering help to any family who found their child bullied in winter because their critical thinking skills, perhaps the whole family, didn't match up to what we required for citizenship.
They also thought, there seems to be a 50-50 response whether they believe that your vacation spots for non-stupid kids and their families, they are not sure whether to believe you, whether they are in fact different to the thinking spots.
Well, I would question the critical thinking skills of the 50% of people who believe that.
In fairness, also on the tape, when they asked, are these different to the thinking spots, which is just another name for covert gulag, you agreed it was in fact another name. You said yes and confirmed that it was another name for covert gulags.
But Anderson, I think I've already made it clear that I.
Oh no, I'm just Kevin again. Oh, we're off the interview. Sorry, Anderson's left.
I think I've made it clear that I struggle with my own critical thinking skills, so I probably misunderstood the question.
So okay, so do you want us to put that out as a press release after that?
Yes.
You may have been a bit stupid in that one. Okay.
Stupid.
What word will I use there?
Egypt. Challenged.
Challenged. Okay. Right. Our leader may be challenged with some questions. Okay, that's fine. We'll check the polls later to see how that did. Our guy Brian in the Department of War, he or do you want to call it Department of War or Department of Defense or
let's call it the Department of Protection.
Department of Protection. Yeah, he's after getting an email from the UN with some bad news that World War III just broke out, unfortunately. So the UN have decided the only way to get around World War III is if every country in the world goes to war with another country. Just go to war with someone. So they want you to make an announcement that you're going to war with whatever country you want. And can you just tell your citizens why you're picking that country? We have the TV set up for you, the camera set up. You can announce it.
Yeah. It can be any country.
Oh, any you want. Yeah. We have all our generals waiting by the phone.
Yes, sorry. I need to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that today we will be going to war with Canada.
And how many times people pick Canada is astonishing. Canada it is.
Well, Canada, I'm going for on location. So it's Canada or Russia. And, you know, I'm a child of the 80s. Being at war with Russia has a certain traumatic afterburn. So
okay. I thought you meant that as we've already done Russia. Let's do Canada, like as if it was boring. Come on, let's do. You also mentioned today we're going to war with Canada. Should we expect a change for tomorrow? Or are we?
Well, yes, it depends on who Russia declares war on. So
they declared war on Finland. Why not?
Oh, okay. Well, then no, it would just be Canada then.
Screw Finland.
Screw Finland.
Okay, screw Finland.
How about the territory? I want more territory if I can get
it. Okay. So we're going to go on a full-scale war on Canada. Do you want us to focus on a particular part, or do you just want to send every plane and tank we have to the closest spot?
To the closest spot, yeah.
Yeah, and just take territory. We're doing it for the territory.
Yeah, it's our opportunity to expand, so let's do it.
Okay. I don't know much about geography in general, let alone Canada. But you know the way on the map you have mainland Canada, and then if you go up north of that, there's a lot of like islands, west of Greenland, type of thing. Are they all part of Canada too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to be looking at a map, but yeah, I think so.
Do you want us to try and take all those small little island parts of it, or do you want us to go straight for the cities?
Let's go for the islands.
Yeah, and try and just hold on, get a bit of territory. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. Again, don't know why people pick Canada so much. They seem.
I'm thinking of location. I don't want to have to. We have a nice peaceful land up here in winter, and I don't want to have to send people around the world. If we have to go to war, let's make it easy. Canada's right there.
Do you want to give a name to this war? You know, you have like Operation Desert Storm. Do you want us to have a nice name?
Let's call it Operation Maple Syrup.
Operation Maple Syrup. Love it. Okay, full scale war. You're picking on Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, we want the islands, right? We just
but it is full scale military war. Just kill anyone you find who's part of the army, I presume.
Yes.
Again, one of the few people who actually go to war with a country full scale. Fair enough.
Well, I'm about my citizens. So if the UN is saying everybody, what's the repercussions if we don't go to war?
The UN will be very unhappy. Yes.
Well, are they unhappy, or are they coming and taking my rights? So what are they doing?
Oh, they're heavily sanctioning your country into poverty.
So no. So like,
no,
we
take land.
Yes.
Cool. So while that's going ahead, all your army is off fighting in Canada. I suppose in the wilderness, I'm going to say, of Canada, because I don't know what's in the islands. We do have good news. We want to know, or the citizens, I suppose, really want to know, what celebrations should we organize to celebrate you and your birthday?
Oh, let's have a giant sledding and sleighing party. Sleighing as in sleigh rides, not killing.
Can we do both, or do you want us to definitely not do both?
No
Okay.
sleighing. No sleighing.
Okay. No sleighing.
I'm desperate to keep this a peaceful land as much as I can.
Winter sled. Are the children who have been locked away with their families in the vacation spots, are they allowed to take part?
You mean the ones who were sent off for their own good?
Yes.
Beef up their skills? No,
don't.
Yeah, because they're outside the country right now. So.
Oh, I thought they were in the country.
No. I sent them. Well, no, I don't know. I was thinking that because you said that I thought the question was that they were sent out, they were like exported.
Oh yeah, whatever you want, we can do.
Yeah.
I just assumed. No, we don't. I mean, I just assumed they were sent off to the farthest reaches of the north into these little cabins and told, this isn't a thinking spot, this is a vacation spot. No, get better. But if you're sending them off to another country, do you know where they're being sent off? We probably have to tell the other country, you see.
Yeah, we have deals with a bunch of countries and places where they can just, we pay for these citizens to come, regroup, get their shit together, and then come back. So,
but Canada isn't one of them, right?
No.
Okay, thank God.
Isn't one of them.
If we take over some land in Canada, maybe we could ship them there then.
Well, we could do that, but I think like this is not supposed to feel punitive, and if we send them someplace remote and cold, this is not to punish the kids, it's to remove them from an unpleasant circumstance.
Yes.
And give them some time to gain confidence, do a little reading, this kind of thing. So, and
their parents to get their act together as well and start parenting.
Well, we're not going to separate children from their parents. So if the kids go, the parents go.
Right. You're kind of saying that like a mob boss, but I'm going to move on. And so we're going to have a massive winter sled and snow sleighing.
Yes.
Party, festival, competition? Festival. Okay, lovely. And do we have, what we need, what the inner circle we're talking about? So the whole Thick-Eejit-Gate didn't go well. Yeah. People are kind of thinking maybe you're not any smarter than the kids who are off in a random country learning or to read. So what we figure is maybe we should have a photo op for you just to show everyone you're in control. Kind of like how Putin will sit on a bare chested, or on a horse or whatever he was. Yeah. Or you have Kim Jong-un in a factory in North Korea just pointing at stuff and they say, he's telling you how to build a car. We were thinking of doing a photo op. Do you want to suggest what the photo op is to make yourself look good?
The photo op is me chopping wood with an axe.
Yes.
For the log cabin fireplaces.
So this is a big tree. Like this is you're not using a chainsaw. It's an old axe.
An old axe.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that doing a photo op to show that the captain isn't in fact stupid, she is a perfectly capable leader, very intelligent. Do you think the photo op showing you doing physical activity like cutting down a tree really gives off the genius vibe?
I don't know that we need to give the genius vibe. I have to give the relatable vibe, and people forget about the genius thing.
How many lumberjacks are in your country?
Well, but everybody's chopping. Everyone has to chop their own wood. They can use an axe or a chainsaw, or they can buy it from their neighbor. But everyone's thinking, even though we have heating, a lot of people use their stoves and fireplaces. So that's a common activity. It's a common individual activity. So it's relatable.
Are we importing stoves and fireplaces? Is winter making all this stuff?
No, not right now. We're a new country, right? So no, we're not making them right now.
Oh, okay. I kind of thought if I threw that in, you might go, oh yes, and I'm like, oh, we can export it and make money. But no, we are spending money on them. We're not wasting our time. Get those people out cutting trees. Fine, love it. Okay, so we have good news. We did take over a few islands. We were going to say 4 of the smaller little islands in Canada. The UN are after coming on to Brian in the Department of Protection again, saying that World War III is finishing. We're finishing up. What we need to do is the only way we can finish up World War III is if we have the worst political leader that you can ever imagine showing up in your country for a press conference to announce it with you. 2 of you will announce it. Again, whoever you want to think of as the worst political leader you may have ever lived through, they are going to show up beside you. So what we kind of need to figure out is, how are you going to diplomatically get along with them without being all buddy-buddy? Because this person is going to run you down for being a rubbish leader who is completely stupid.
Well, this is why we have a big log cabin. They can stay in, I put them in the wing that is comfortable and a bit opulent, so they don't feel insulted, because I don't want to deal with that. And we appear only at official events.
So at the official event where the 2 of you are standing at the podium, and the international press are there, one of them is going to put up their hand and ask you, Captain Viani of Winter, I just have a question. So this leader has said that if you're too stupid to not be bullied in school for being stupid, then you shouldn't run a country. What do you say to that?
It's irrelevant, because I am running a country.
But he said you shouldn't be running a country.
He's entitled to his opinion, and he's on the next flight out. So I don't care. What do I care?
And then he said, I'm surprised you even know what entitled is. Ha ha ha. And then a few of the people from his own country start laughing.
I laugh and say, next question.
He interrupts and he says, I have a question. Why do you have so many people coming from your country into my country? I'm going to have to stop them. I'm going to start charging your country for that, because they're all immigrating. Don't you curse at me, is what he says when you do that.
Oh my God. Okay, look, dude, my people don't have to come to your country. They're obviously coming because there's something there that they want. So
they're fleeing your country, Captain.
No, because
I thought a captain was a man.
No, obviously not. So have you never heard of Captain Janeway? Thank you very much.
I don't go in for make-believe characters. I'm in the real world.
Okay, listen. And all my citizens are watching this disaster unfold on TV. Listen, if my people are leaving my country to go to yours, obviously there's something about your country that makes them want to go there and be good citizens. If you start saying they can't come, you are going to be cutting off your nose to spite your face, and you're going to be losing good citizens.
First of all, I would never cut off my nose. And it's a great nose, fantastic nose. Everyone says it. And the other thing is, if people are leaving to come to my country, it's because they're fleeing your country for being so bad. So maybe you shouldn't be the ruler.
Well, people aren't fleeing my country, though. They're not fleeing because of me or the leadership. They're fleeing because it's freaking cold, and they realize they don't want the cold. That's why they're fleeing.
Nobody flees Scandinavia.
What? Nobody flees Scandinavia? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I'll say it again. Nobody flees Scandinavia.
You think? I mean, they're shady in Scandinavia.
Don't say the UN is pressing buttons, ringing people.
Everybody knows those Scandinavians. They've got
shifty.
A lot of skeletons. They're shifty as hell. And I know that there are people.
Oh, this is the worst press conference.
Out the back door. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I will have that photographic evidence for you tomorrow of fleeing Scandinavians.
Sorry, then Sweden from the Norway News. Are you suggesting that all of Scandinavia is dodgy and that you have evidence of that?
I'm suggesting that the government is not releasing accurate figures about
the government of what?
Scandinavia oh, that's right, of Scandinavia.
Oh my God, it's Thick-Eejit-Gate again. Oh my God.
It's too funny. There's a cabal of leaders who are hiding the facts about what's going on over there.
Oh, this is
Thank
the
you. That's
worst.
my last question for
This is
today.
it's the worst press conference I've ever experienced. Okay, yeah. I mean, honestly, I know the goal was to just stop World War III and get back to some form of world peace. I think everyone is so baffled by that press conference and what just happened. Like, the Danish Prime Minister was asked his response, and he was like, honestly, I have no idea where that came from. The Norwegian Prime Minister, she said, I'll have to get back to you. I have to check my own government to make sure not, because the captain seemed very adamant that we were really shifty.
There's a Scandinavian government.
She was also claiming there was some sort of a new world order in Scandinavia. Yeah, at least you got that terrible leader out of the country. Jesus. Okay, might suggest, no offense, Captain, the inner circle might do some prep the next time. that might have gone a bit sideways. The UN aren't looking fondly on winter, to be honest.
Oh my God.
Do you want some good news?
Sure, I could love it.
Yeah. So Paul from finance, oh my God, Paul from finance, he just checked the books, and we actually have a good bit of money. We're in a surplus here. So the people in winter, the people who are staying, they're loyal, if not anything. They want to build you a big statue. So we wanted to ask you, what type of statue do you want? What pose do you want for yourself, or what statue do you want to be built in your honor?
Do I have to have a statue? I don't want a statue.
If you don't want a statue, I mean, we could build something. Like, what do you want us to build, and we can name it after you, or we can name it. Basically, tell us something to build. Big thing.
But it has to be in like honor of me.
I mean, you don't have. I suppose it is built in honor of you, but you don't have to call it after yourself if you don't want.
Okay. I don't know. I really don't. It's supposed to be like, how about just a statue of a noble looking
Teacher,
leader type woman with an axe? I don't know.
Oh, are we going all like Greek goddess?
No, more like all like lumberjack kind of.
Oh, okay.
We're a hardy people here.
So do you want a 30-foot lumberjill? No, they wouldn't. You just lumber.
No, yeah, lumberjack. Yeah, lumberjack.
Yeah.
A man and a woman. Let's do that. Let's do both. A man and a woman.
So a man and a woman, 2 lumberjacks. Oh, around a tree.
Yeah.
Big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want? So we don't want to call him after yourself, for instance. No.
No, I don't.
No, you want it looking like yourself?
No, not really, because there's going to be other leaders after me, and this is about
attacking you.
What?
Do you mean after you, as in on the hunt, or?
No.
Okay.
I will not be the only leader of winter. No, not
okay.
after.
I thought that could be a decoy. That's why I thought when you said they're after you.
I'm desperately trying to keep my land peaceful, and now I've got like all of
Do you want us to put it in on one of the new islands that you took over? Speaking of peaceful, we can put the statue up there.
No, let's put it where people coming in will see it
as
a welcome to,
Speaking of which, we'll get that built. A 30-foot statue of 2 lumberjacks?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you what do you want us to do with that new land up in Canada we've taken?
I think we need to see what resources we can pull out of it, because we don't
snow and ice. I don't know what else.
There's no trees, fish. Well, why don't we turn it into one of these survival type situations, and we can rent it to TV shows who want to do like Lost in the Arctic.
Yes, or if you want to do Liam Neeson fighting wolves again.
Yes, something like that. So it'll be a giant movie set for sale and TV set for sale or for rent.
You've mentioned once or twice that you're trying to keep winter peaceful, and it seems very, very peaceful and nice, and with the snowflakes on the billboard and warm hearts and stuff. And yet at the same time, there's a bit of duality here, because you're also about survival, and people need to learn how to survive in this country by constantly cutting down trees. even though they have stoves that we import from other countries. They need to learn, which is interesting. It's a nice aspect of everyday life for the winter. How would you call them? Winterians? Winterians. So Paul is after getting on again from finance. He has bad news. He made a mistake. He forgot that there was a minus sign. So it actually turns out the country is bankrupt. That statue didn't help, to be honest. The International Monetary Fund are here. They want to know what the hell is going on. They are threatening to take over the country if you don't have any plan to make money and make money fast. So what would you do to make a lot of money as quick as you can?
Well, I'm renting my islands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're gonna host a series of winter games, like the Iditarod, but not the Iditarod. And we're gonna have to start selling some of the resources we do have,
which are a lot of chopped down trees.
No, we have
people,
lots of fish.
Yes.
We have acorns. We have, what else do we have?
Do we charge people? And what? Atmosphere?
Yeah, maple syrup.
Oh, and I said atmosphere. I was like,
atmosphere.
We have good nightclubs, good atmosphere. And we can charge people more. If you leave within a year, you have to pay 100% back. Do you want that? Yeah. Okay. Can you buy yourself out of the thinking spot or vacation spots?
No.
Even at 10 million?
I really think there's value in those things that money can't buy. And if I'm doing, let's see what happens with the Winter Games.
Okay.
Yes, we'll table the discussion about making people buy, because that's kind of like to be able to buy yourself out of the war, out of a war. Yeah.
So you're describing these vacation spots as a war. Okay.
No.
I'll just get that on Anderson. No. Anderson was asking how this was going. So vacation spot war, like that's a nice update for his special report. I was going to ask, unfortunately, two of your guys from your inner circle, two guys, Bill and Jeff, they were caught up planning a coup, a violent coup. They wanted to take over. So they were effectively trying to assassinate you. Now, Captain Adam from the police force, he caught him. So he's asking you, what do you want us to do with them?
Well, I want to hear their grievances.
Captain Adam did make out that he caught them, but their plan was very well thought out. So just if that matters. Yeah.
It does matter, but
okay.
I want to know what their grievances are, because if I don't know, then part of that is on me, not the violent plan. I'm not responsible for their behavior. But if two of my inner sanctum, this is they're
yes,
I'm not aware that they're so dissatisfied that they're planning to kill me, then that's a failure of leadership.
They said that they were dissatisfied with three things: the vacation spots, they thought was a nice way of saying deported to prison. They weren't happy with how you dealt with Thick-Eejit-Gate. They thought that seemed a bit stupid, and they were just outraged. This is the final straw with thinking that Scandinavia was a country with one government, and just seemingly promising evidence that they were shifty criminals, because one of them's half Norwegian. So,
well, but okay, just as an aside.
Yes.
The pressure of a press conference can make a person forget their knowledge of world government.
That does not boost their confidence in fairness.
Okay. I still why did they not come in, and why did they not bring this up in meetings, and why did they feel like they had to sneak around and plan to kill me?
They didn't think that anything would change. They figured, you know what? And also they're ambitious. They wanted to be the captain.
Okay.
Co-captain.
If they didn't think anything would change, that would trouble me. If they're just ambitious and will do anything to get to the top, then we can't have people like that running around. They got to go.
Ooh. So we are beheading them? What do we want?
No.
Okay.
But they have to go. They can go in any country they want, but they can't come back.
So we're just booting them off.
Yep.
Now the awful leader has tabled a resolution with the UN, and for some reason all the Scandinavian countries are going along with it. That what you're doing isn't right, because I mean, these people are Wintarians. So you shipping them off to another country, they're like, well, no, we're not accepting them. They're not refugees. You're forcibly removing them from your own country. No.
Yeah, they have money, they have passports or whatever they need. They can go someplace. It's
But
not
they're
about
actively saying they don't want to leave. They want to stay in your country. So you're removing them.
Okay,
And
they can stay under house arrest.
Okay, so we're house. And again, but they're not going to the thinking spot for 6 months, no?
No, that's totally different. If
Okay.
someone is planning to kill somebody else, then we can't try, and you're not suffering from any kind of like, mental struggles or whatever. There's nothing we can do to help you medically.
Yes.
It's just like clear thinking. Then you're under house arrest for like the rest of your life because we can't trust you. So,
Right. They are being put under house arrest in their nice houses in the middle of the capital for the rest of their life.
Yes.
As opposed to someone who doesn't show the correct level of thinking skills within your inner circle, who gets shipped off to the north of winter to a cabin for 6 months.
But that's not punishment. You
learn how to survive.
Keep insisting that.
But just because you had said that that's where you learn how to survive.
It's where you learn, you regroup, and you learn to think about your situation,
right?
How you can handle things differently. If someone is planning to murder somebody else, then first of all, their critical thinking skills are probably pretty good if they have a complicated plot because they've thought through.
So a bit of praise, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that like you're too far gone. Like, what are we going to do for you? Like, if you're before you kill somebody, how about you go to them and say, I'm so enraged at you. Yes. And we need to talk about this. If you skip that part of the process and went right to murdering me,
but can we play out their what if they had just gone to you? Just to see how it would have gone. So I suppose knock on your door. Can I come into the cabin? I'm Bill. So Captain, I have an issue. I'm not happy for the 3 reasons I've previously stated. I'm so enraged by you at this point. I do want to kill you and take over the rule of the country.
Okay. First of all, Bill, calm down. Let's have some coffee.
I'm very calm. I've really thought this through. I'm very calm, actually.
Okay. So I'm glad you came to me.
Good. Because I do have a knife in my hand, as you can see.
And I do have security. So,
okay, yes.
What's like, I want to know what's brought it to this point, because these things have been in play for a long time. So what's brought it to this? What's changed? Was Scandinavia the tipping point?
That was a big thing. Yeah. My wife is from Finland. So I was a little bit like, what the hell?
I just misspoke on that one.
I mean, you misspoke several sentences. Like, it was several, like, you promised that tomorrow you will have evidence.
I was trying to make a deeply profound point, and I was thinking ahead of my deeply
What profound point were you making by saying, I guarantee I will have evidence that the Scandinavians are dodgy, shifty people?
He's mad I said that his wife was dodgy and shifty.
Yes.
Okay, I thought he was mad that I thought Scandinavia had one government.
All of it was just a complete, in his words, shit show.
I know that Scandinavia doesn't have one government. That's what I misspoke, because I was going too far ahead of myself.
So that was the misspoken part, but the rest of it,
they're shady and shifty as hell. Yes, I stand by that.
Well, then now I have to kill you.
Listen, does your wife want you to kill me and lose?
She's quite turned on by it, the idea, to be honest.
All right. Listen, I'm sorry you're upset. Bring your wife here and I will apologize to her.
The last time you were in a situation where you need to play nice to stop World War III, you started an international incident at home with your part of your own government trying to kill you, and abroad with Scandinavians. So Bill isn't too confident of bringing his wife to your house when you could do anything. See, especially since you seemingly have a problem with the Scandinavians.
But I have never heard a Scandinavian in my life. I love the Scandinavian people. Yes.
Sorry, Anderson has popped up.
Okay, what is it, Anderson?
When the UN came along to, I've got evidence. A insider in your inner circle has come to me and said you were given the choice of what country to pick, and you said, well, it's either Canada or Russia. And when you asked who is Russia going to war with, and someone said they're going to war with a country in Scandinavia. You went, all right then, Canada it is. So, saying that, is that not proof that you have a severe problem? Because you were going to go to war with Russia, but then decided, you know what, they're attacking Scandinavia, not so bad after all.
No, I think you're twisting my words here. Because I think what I was asked was, when I said, who's Russia going to war with? I wanted to make sure it wasn't us. Winter.
Okay.
So when I found out it wasn't winter,
and it was Scandinavia,
choice. I was free to choose Canada. If Russia had been going to war with winter, I'd had to choose winter.
I mean, it just seems very convenient that once you found out they were going to war with Scandinavia, you decided, they're off the hook. Canada it is.
Anderson?
Yes.
I love the Scandinavian people.
Despite everything I've just said, I love them.
There's nothing you can say that will make me speak badly of them for a second time.
Second time. By the way, I'm just going to pop in here as an advisor again. Are you happy with Anderson? Do you want us to keep Anderson in the country? Because we do forcibly remove a lot of people, as we say.
No. Because Anderson is a smart cookie. He's allowed to ask these questions, so he can stay.
He's fine. Oh, okay. Okay. So, I'm going to hit you with two final questions because it's turning into a disaster for the international relations. Your country went a bit soccer mad. The World Cup was on. And they went really far, actually, did really well. They got to the semi-finals, big achievement. Unfortunately, they lost in the last minute. What happened was the soccer ball went out for a throw-in. Your players thought, yeah, that's okay. The Danish linesman picked up another ball, threw it to the other team, who happened to be Sweden. Sorry, I never mentioned that. The Swedish forward then grabbed it with his hands, totally illegal, but the Norwegian referee didn't see it, even though he's looking directly at him, and then gave him a thumbs up. And then the Swedish forward just threw it into the net and then lifted up his shirt to reveal, take that, captain. All the prime ministers and presidents and whoever's the leader of these countries, they released on social media laughing emojis, and your flag, the Winter's flag as well. Do you have any response to them after this? Because your country is irate. I mean, they hate these damn Scandinavians, and especially Norway or Sweden for winning the match.
You want my response?
Yeah, how are you going to respond? Because your citizens are looking to you.
I can't say it's just a game, right? The
citizens probably won't be happy. The Winterians probably, yeah. Hey, you can say what you want. You're a captain, right?
No, I think it's a shame to see that kind of behavior during an event which could be bringing the world together.
Then Sweden from Norway News. Are you surprised by what happened?
Given how the media has blown recent events out of proportion, no, tempers are high on both sides.
So you weren't surprised by what many of your citizens call cheating on behalf of the Norwegian players? And
shocked and saddened, yes. Surprised, no.
So you're not surprised by their behavior, is what we were.
I'm not surprised. I think anybody would behave like that, given what the media has been doing.
Captain of Winter, unsurprised by cheating Scandinavians, is what the headline is going to read. Cool, yeah. I mean, we can leave that fester and see how that turns out. I think there might be a World War IV soon enough. Usually, so the last question is, I give the same one, but usually I'm starting to ask people, your administration has focused a lot, weirdly, on international relations. For being a peaceful country, your domestic policies didn't really go bad, right? I mean, I don't know, were you actually really making anything? You were spending a lot of money on stoves and stuff and deporting people, but yeah, you handled the whole debt crisis pretty good. So do you think you're quite happy with how you've been running it? Or if we went back an hour and a bit, would you start over and go, no, this time I need to do something different?
I'm happy with how I've been running it. I think I would look to be spending a little bit less money. We're trying to give our citizens a wonderful standard of living and quality of life here. And that costs money.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of them leave for some reason.
Well, because it's cold. They're leaving because it's cold.
You found the island here. I don't know why you picked such a desolate.
Well, because it was not desolate. It's beautiful, but I like the cold. This is a country for people who enjoy the cold, who enjoy this kind of outdoorsy type living.
Okay. Do you think that if you were to do it again, or you could change the tactic? Would you advertise winter more for people who want to live in this new country? Just to warn you, it is cold. Like, would you let people like really get it into their heads before they even show up?
I think that would probably be a smart idea, to let people know that the quality of life here is very high. We're not living in tents or anything like that. And everybody is guaranteed a certain level of comfort in their lifestyle. But it is cold. It is dark a lot. It is not a place where it's necessarily always easy to get from one place to the next because of the snowfall. And people need to be aware of that. We were so excited about this country that we just sort of promoted all the amazing things about it, which there are many, but we didn't take into account that some people, that the things that would wear on people's energy over time.
In fairness, I would also be a bit judgmental of people who say, I'm going to move to that country north of Alaska, and then show up and go, "Ooh, it's a bit chilly."
Yeah, but that's human nature, right? Like, that's human nature. Like, you think you want to go to the biggest university, and then you get there and you realize you really like small classes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So you're not really holding that against them. You're saying.
No, I mean, taking money from them before they've been here 5 years or having them repay, it's simply a matter of fiscal responsibility, because we do give our citizens quality of life.
Yeah.
So.
So when at a certain point you're going to want to retire, right? You've done everything you can. You've successfully led winter as captain for however long. So at some point you're going to have to think about who's your heir, who's the next in line to the throne, so to speak. What I want to ask is, who would you name as your heir? And keep in mind, this would be someone that, is actually alive now, not like I couldn't say, oh, my heir would be my hypothetical grandson, because I don't have a grandson. So who, as your citizens are called to your residence for this massive announcement that needs to be told, who, when you walk out onto your balcony or whatever, who would you name as your heir, and what speech would you give to announce their ascendancy to the throne or whatever?
Does it have to be somebody like that we've talked about in this podcast, like, or in this discussion?
It can be anyone. I will give you examples. There has been a cat named as an heir. There has been Bob Ross's son. There has been Bill Burr. There has been, unfortunately, Celine didn't name me, which was a little bit annoying. Yeah, you can name anyone. Chet Hanks was briefly an heir and then tragically removed, I'll say. So yeah, you can name whoever you want.
Okay, well, I would probably do Rob, but Pete, my husband, but I think people would feel like maybe that's some nepotism going on, when it would be totally practical. Because he's not a lumberjack, but he works with wood all the time. He's,
Did you say his name was Rob?
Rob, yeah.
Rob.
So I'd probably go with him, because he's also very open-minded and kind-hearted.
So with all I'm just saying, a lot of your citizens show up at your house for this big announcement, because you're letting people know. I suppose when they're all standing there going, what's going on? How would you announce that Rob is taking over? Because they're kind of going to presume who you're the captain.
I would say that, you've seen him throughout my reign of terror.
Jesus. Prep, guys. We need to prep. I know it's her last announcement, but still prep.
During my captaincy.
Okay.
You've seen him by my side. You've seen him. You've seen what kind of man he is at events. You name some examples, and nobody is positioned better to take over and keep the country running the way we want it to run and how we founded it than he is. And if not him, then Keanu Reeves.
So wait, when you say if not him, why does he not want it? Or
well, you never know. So you got to always.
Have you asked?
Yes, I asked him, and he said he would do it.
But
okay.
Yes.
If for some chance he couldn't, then I'm going with Keanu Reeves.
Why did he say he couldn't? Why did he say
if by some chance he couldn't do it?
But he is definitely. But he is definitely. We don't have
to step in. Yes.
Okay, he's stepping in. So I was going to say, what's his opinion on Scandinavia? Because I mean, we're posting some horrible fake news online about Scandinavia, just to get at him.
I think he does not approve of that. He thinks the situation on both sides was blown out of proportion.
Right.
And if people had taken a step back, then maybe the whole situation could have been avoided.
So you're going to leave winter in the hands of your capable husband, Rob, I mean, do you think he's still going to have people shipped off to other countries to educate themselves?
I don't know. I mean, he's his own man, and he can have his own opinion on things, And I know he's always supported me.
Yes. So do you think he might have some problems though, because you're going to leave winter with a sizable portion of your country with anti-Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Finnish sentiments, because they were right on board with the screw Scandinavia.
I think I have been with this guy almost 20 years, and if anybody can smooth the situation successfully, it's him.
If anything, maybe he should have been leading the country from the start. We might have had half. Okay,
we have a cabin with your name on it. I'm still
I was going to say, do you think he would also keep the regions in Canada, or would he look to return them?
He'd keep them.
Keeping them. Yeah. Okay, so are you staying in the country? Are you leaving? You're just staying with him, obviously.
Oh yeah, I'm staying. Yeah, I'm staying.
So so basically you just want the cabin, right? You're not moving out of there.
Oh no, well if he takes over, then I stay. Yeah, that's
how
it
stay.
Works.
Yeah. Are you not going to? Is that not going to be a little bit tough? Like, will you not have the urge to get involved at any point?
I don't think so. I think I've been doing this for so long that I welcome taking a back seat for a while.
So you are going to leave the role as captain of winter, just gladly hand it over, and then spend all your day back in a chocolate addiction?
Well, I don't think gladly is too glib of a word. Somewhat sadly, it's bittersweet, but it's time. It's time when the time comes, and I will be continuing my charity work. I will be taking care of my family, and I will be here. I will always be here for the citizens of winter, no matter what my official role is or unofficial role.
So, it's one of the nicer ways to end your time as a tyrant. And yeah, I can see how it would make sense to have Rob as your heir, considering he would have been at all those functions. He was probably standing right beside you when you went on that tirade against. I mean, the evidence I'm really curious about. Where was that? I suppose that's just an unanswered question. Like, what was the evidence that was going to come out? There's conspiracies. Some people think that you do have the evidence. You're like a Q with evidence that against the Scandinavian government.
I think that's in the past. And I don't think.
Oh, you're just dropping it.
I don't think we need to rehash these situations.
You're just completely dropping it. I mean, that is such a political, that's like, if you the crazy people, the politicians who years ago would have went, oh yeah, Obama isn't American. He's not born there at all, and we have the birth certificate. But if you ask them now, they're like, oh, I wouldn't bother with that. And you're like,
exactly.
No. Yeah. So you're kind of going that route. You're just dropping it.
I got one foot out the door. I'm not getting pulled back in by the shady Scandinavians.
Okay, Terry, former captain of Winter. Winter is a great name. I'm quite impressed with the name. Simple, but a bit of class to it. Yeah, that is your time as the tyrant of Winter of this podcast.
That was really fun. I hope I wasn't too. I hope it was not too awful.
It veered wildly from one answer to the other. No, lovely to no, I'm going to war. Few people go to war, like actual military full-scale war with other countries. Some people pick a propaganda war or a war of ideas, but no, pillow fights. That's what some people do. But no, you went straight, I am taking territory.
Well, no, because I'm protecting my people.
Yeah.
And if the UN is like going to come in and give us a hard time, then okay, I'm going to do the least damage I can, but I'm going to protect my people. So.
Just you might have interest. You went to war with Canada. Canada went to war with illiteracy, which was kind of nice, sweet. So yeah, you might have come off looking badly there as well. Yeah, do you have any social media sites you want to plug?
Yes, people can find me on Twitter, and oh my gosh, I'm just drawing a blank on my Twitter handle. Hold on. It is at TC like Cat Viani. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's Terri C Viani there.
All right. So, yeah, because as with the intro that fumbles the way through, I have no outro. So this is the Tyrants In Training podcast, and this is the end of this episode. I believe if anyone who's listening and who enjoyed it, if they can like or at least subscribe and leave a review of this podcast, that's really helpful. So I've been told by my better half. So thank you everyone for listening, and we'll hope you'll be back next week with another episode. And goodbye.